I'm Big Cal and welcome to my world. Today Nintendo have been doing some test runs essentially of the servers for their upcoming new IP, Splatoon. The demo is available to download on the Wii U eShop, and then at certain 1 hour intervals throughout the day. I think the first one was 4 AM this morning here in the UK, another one again at 12 PM or 1 PM, which I participated in, and then another one tonight I believe at 8 PM while 9 PM. And they seem to be just doing it in 1 hour slots, so as many people as possible are going to be on at the same time. And you know, what better way to stress test the servers. So, the actual game. If you're watching this video, you probably have at least some interest in Splatoon already and know what it is. It's a shooting game where instead of bullets you shoot ink. You're some sort of squid-like creatures, and the objective is not to kill your opponents, but to paint the level that you're in, the map, your colour. And basically at the end of the 3-minute round, whichever team's painted their colour the most wins. Simple. So here are some of my first thoughts and impressions of the game. Firstly, controls. I was a little nervous when I heard that people said that it uses the Wii U gamepad gyromite. That's a NES game. The gyroscopic, the thing that moves in the control. Fuck off. I don't know what I'm on about. Anyway, instead of just using the analog sticks, which I believe you can use as well, you can switch. But the control I was using, with the footage that I recorded, was with using the gyro. So basically move the controller and it moves to where your aim is. And I was a little worried that you'd probably have to stand up with it like this, moving around and aiming. But thankfully that's not what it was like. I had it in my hands like normal, and just slight movements moved it as if it was an analog stick, and I found it to be absolutely really good, to be honest. I thought it was very well done motion controls. So I enjoyed that a lot, and I didn't even bother switching to just using the analog sticks. Swimming in through the ink is a cool idea, as well as jumping out of it to sneak up and attack people. Very much like that. There is some slight customisation for your squid character, but very little. I don't know if they're planning on releasing more for the full game or in future DLC updates, which they've already announced they're going to be doing, including more maps, among other things. But for me, I'm not too bothered about the character creation in a game like this. It's just a shooting game, essentially. And when you do get into a game, by the way, I had no problems with the servers with the exception of one game when the connection was dropped. So well done to Nintendo for that. It seems like they prepared well enough for how many people were going to be on. So I would honestly expect the servers to be fine, from launch day when the full game's released. But yeah, when you start a game, you choose between essentially 4 different weapons. You've got a Splattershot Junior, which just shoots out splatters of paint. The Splattershot, which again does the same, but the difference is then they have a secondary weapon. The Splattershot Junior has a shield, which builds up after a certain amount of time. I'm not entirely sure how it works. I didn't even realise at the time that this happened. I only found out when I was into the last game. But yeah, you can have a shield for a certain amount of time, and I think it can also, if you're near your allies, it can also shield them. So that's pretty good. The normal Splattershot, instead of just 1 bomb, now throws 3 bombs. So that's really cool. Then there's the paintbrush type weapon, which is great for making up as much surface as possible, but you cannot do walls with it, which is its downfall. But yeah, it's really good for covering as much ground as possible with the paint. The secondary weapon for that, I think, is also a type of bomb. And then the last one is sort of like a sniper rifle. I think it's like the charge splat or something. And it shoots out like a long line, or you can hold it in and charge it, and it's almost like a sniper rifle. I didn't really like that gun at all. I'm not very good with sniper rifles in general in shooting games, with the exception of Far Cry 3. So this one not for me, and from what I've read so far, a lot of people weren't really feeling that one either. And then the secondary weapon for that is again another type of bomb. Oh, sorry, no, the paintbrush is not a bomb. It's you basically put down a sentry gun and it'll just fire out tons of paint in front. Really cool. That was the first time I found out you could do that. The games, each round is only 3 minutes long, and again people were wondering, is that going to be enough time? I was too, but honestly I think if it was longer than 3 minutes it would get boring. I think 3 minutes is absolutely perfect because the maps aren't gigantic for starters. You know, it's kind of contained, which is a good thing. And as soon as you meet the enemy, it can be frantic. You'll paint everywhere. You'll kill someone. They'll kill you straight away. It's all nice and frantic, and I think any longer would have been really bad. So definitely liking the 3 minute rounds for it. The ability to fly to a nearby ally is great as well once you respawn if you've died or accidentally kill yourself, as I did a few times. That was really cool. So as soon as you respawn, you've got on the gamepad a map, you press on which ally you want to go to, and it also shows the location of any enemies that aren't swimming in the paint. So if you see an ally and there's a couple of enemies around him, you can zoom over to him and help him out straight away. That's a really cool feature. So overall, I had a ton of fun with this, and I only played it for half an hour out of the full hour that we got. I didn't really want to overdo it, because after you've played a few rounds with each gun a couple of times, there's not that much else to do really for the trial version. I definitely at some point want to pick up the full version when it is released, because I want to play the single player mode. It's kind of like a platformy type thing, so that should be pretty cool. So yeah, overall my thoughts of Splatoon is that it's going to be a really fun game. The servers seem to be, you know, pretty much fine. Connecting to games today again was perfectly fine. I imagine it won't get any worse at all for the main launch. Maps, there are only 5 at the moment, but they are going to be releasing, I believe, 1 map every week or every couple of weeks after release for a few weeks, so we're going to get some more maps. But I wasn't too bothered with the actual maps and what they look like. I was just having too much fun with the actual gameplay. So, you know, not having many maps didn't bother me, and even the maps that I was playing, I never really noticed what they were like. I was too busy splattering them with paint and attempting to, you know, kill the enemy. Yeah, weapons though, there's only 4 at the moment. I have no idea if they're planning to release any more with any updates and DLC. I really hope they do, because 4's just not enough. It's kind of boring. One of them's pretty crappy as well, you know, the charging one, and the Splattershot and Splattershot Junior are pretty much the same, with the exception of the alternate fire that they do. So, you know, some more weapons would be great. But overall, I've had a ton of fun with this game. It really is great. I think Nintendo are on with a winner here as far as new IPs go. I'm glad that this wasn't a Mario game. Originally it was going to be. I think it's nice that it's not a Mario game, it's a completely new IP, and hopefully they can do well with it in the future. So, I'm Big Cal, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed listening to my thoughts on Splatoon. If you get the chance, please download the demo and play later tonight at 8 PM, well 9 PM I believe here in the UK. Check online for what times it might be in your area. Definitely give it a go. You know, what can you lose? It's free for now, just this. And then if you like it, you know, it's available to buy in June or July, I think. So definitely worth it. I think just in the little bits that I've played, and you know, there's still the single player mode that we haven't had access to yet, which I think is going to be really fantastic as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.